Hi everyone, welcome to episode 30 of the Addydae Designs video blog. This is my visual diary into crocheting, crochet designing, sometimes knitting, and anything that relates to those. Thanks for dropping by if you are a returning viewer, and if you're new, you will find here I share what I'm working on, finished objects, pattern releases, designs that I might have in progress. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for being here. It's been a couple of months since I recorded. Apologies, it's been very busy in the background here, but because it has been so long, I do have a lot to share with you today. So let's jolly on with the show, shall we? Okay, before we cover anything else, because it's been so long since our podcast was last, I have two new designs released. The first, not least of which, is my add-along sweater. It's finally out, if you haven't seen that already. Yes, it's available. I am so excited about this, especially given that it's heading into the northern winter, so I hope you guys over there enjoy the design. It's for DK weight. It's a boxy style sweater it was too hot for me to wear it today, so I'm sorry, but it's got this awesome detail down the sleeve. It's got some lovely shaping around the neck, which is a bit hard to show while I'm holding it, and it also has a split hem for a bit of fun. So there are a few of the design elements I hope you like in the sweater. Like I said, it's DK weight, it whips up super fast, and if you want to use hand-dyed yarn for this design, as you know, well, you may or may not know, it's important to alternate skeins when you're using hand-dyed yarn, and alternating skeins is built into the pattern for the body section. So it's written in, just follow the instructions and it'll show you how to do it. So you're automatically alternating skeins for the body so that you don't get that, you know how sometimes when the skeins vary a little bit and you can see a line, if you don't do that. Yeah, so I hope you find that super helpful. What you might also notice with this design, if you've purchased it, is that I have charts to help you with the construction. It's unusual construction, so I got some amazing charts done. I didn't do them myself. I'm not that clever. I got lovely lady Amy. Amy, if you're watching, I don't know if you watch, but if you do, you're amazing. She did the charts for me, and yeah, I hope that it helps for anyone who likes to read a chart along with written instructions. I know I do. And I'm slowly actually working on adding more charts to some of my older designs as well. So stay posted for some of those. So there you go. Announcement number one, add along is available. So go check it out on my Ravelry store. Oh, speaking of this being a new design, I was thinking of having a crochet along for it. Nothing stressful. I know sweaters are big projects, but I was thinking maybe over, I don't know, 2 to 3 months, just a really nice casual one over the winter, the northern winter, for you guys there, but also for us in the southern hemisphere. I thought it could also be good in that time frame. Okay, yes, it is working on a DK sweater in the middle of summer, but then we'll be super prepared for winter next year. So if that appeals to you, let me know, and I'll work out some details and probably work out where to host that on my Ravelry group or something like that, but I'll let you know. So tell me if you're interested in a crochet along and what time frame you think you would like for that, and we'll get that sorted. Okay, announcement number 2 is relating to pattern number 2, which was my Segway socks, which are now available also on Ravelry, and I think I've already uploaded them on Love Knitting, but I haven't added them to my other platforms. But currently in my Ravelry store you can get this at 20% off, in line with it being socktober. So of course I've got a bit of a sock parade here for you. This is the sock that was pictured in the pattern. This one's using, oh my goodness, look at the stitch definition there. So lovely. This is the sunflower yarn base by Fiberific that I use for the sample, and so is the contrast is as well. These are the colorways Lake and Apricot something. that Chantel dyed up. It's such a beautiful colourway, that lake for the body, because it really shows up the beautiful ribbing in the design. Ooh, I hope that's focusing. Sorry, you might notice I'm in a different spot. I'm actually in my office. Over the last few months, one of the other things I've been doing, we completely redesigned the office to be a bit more of a workable space. So I now have all my yarn out of boxes, because they were in another room in a cupboard, which Piper now occupies because the girls have separate rooms now. And I couldn't see any of my stash without getting everything out and putting it all. I used to put it all over the spare bed. So I didn't have that luxury anymore. But I really like this setup because I can see what I have. So that's really nice, and makes a big difference. So I'm hoping that it'll mean less double ups, because I do, when I sorted it all and put it in here, I realised I had a lot of very similar colours, and thought, well, that wouldn't happen if I could see what I had. So obviously I'd forgotten I had a similar skein stashed away. So yeah. Anyway, back to Segway socks. These are available at a 20% discount for the rest of October as part of the Socktober celebrations, and in line with the sock cowl that's being hosted by Faye of the Crochet Circle podcast and Claudia of the Crochet Luna podcast. If you check out both of their groups on Ravelry, you'll get all the details for the sock cowl. It's pretty casual. I'm pretty sure that whips are allowed. I know we're most of the way through the month, but there's still plenty of time to make some socks, as we know they whip up rather fast. Crochet and knitted socks are acceptable for the sock along, although the focus is primarily on crochet, simply because not a lot of people knew that you could crochet socks. How about that? So a lot of people hadn't tried, thinking that crochet wasn't suitable, but there are a lot of great patterns out there. I hope you think this is one of those great patterns. I hope you enjoy it. This one features a short row heel in this one, and the leg is really stretchy, which we know is one of the limitations for crochet in socks. So I hope you enjoy that. While we're talking the sock along, oh, I better tell you the code. There's a code. There's a code for the 20% discount. I'm going to take a breath and just stop talking so fast. Apologies. There's a code for the 20% discount. If you use the code SOCKCAL2018, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen so you can see it, you'll get 20% off. Not just these socks in my Ravelry store, but also my baseline socks. So both of them are discounted using that code for the entire month of October, in line with the sock cowl. Yeah, so now I've lost my train of thought, completely derailed. Anywho, crochet socks. I really love wearing these. I was really happy with the fit. And if you're new, that's what I was going to say, if you're new to making socks and you're a little bit unsure, in line with Socktober and the sock cowl, there's been a blog hop happening between quite a few of us that have blogs, providing information relating to sock making in general, but primarily crochet socks. I'll put the details below. It's not on the screen. I'm going to put them in the show notes. So there's a little arrow at the bottom of the screen, below the video screen, I mean. And if you click that, it'll expand the show notes, and I'll put a link there to the entire list of the blog hop. I did post number 4, which was about sock anatomy. Tamara from Crafty Escapism, she started it with sock making tips, and Faye's done a blog about yarn and things like that. So everything you need to know about crochet socks, you'll find on the blog hop. There are 2 more installments left. Catherine from Crafternoon Treats is next in line, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, go have a look if you're unsure about making socks for the first time. There's loads of information there, so I hope you enjoy. So next installment in my, oops, sorry about the noise, my sock parade is another pair of Segway socks. These are the ones I made using the sock blank that I got from Joyance Fibre Arts. Anyway, that beautiful sweater weather sock blank I destroyed to make these socks. But you know why, I mean, look at these. They're so cute. Hang on, I'll just do one. Because as you can see, they worked up. Because this was a single-stranded sock blank, so I couldn't do them two at a time. But they worked up very, very similarly. I'm so happy with them. And it was fun to do, and the yarn's gorgeous. I don't know, can you see the sparkle in there? It was so lovely. And so that was the main colour, and the contrast colour, this one was from Pirate Pearl Yarns in their in the ghost colourway, I think. Anyway, yeah, so they're lovely and squishy and soft, and I'm so happy with how they turned out. So yeah, so a few Segway socks have been in the making lately, and all of them have pairs. So all the socks I've shown you have a pair, a matching mate. And I also made what I'm hoping to become my next sock design, being inspired by all this sock making. This is a sock I made for Piper using the remainder of a sock blank that Piper herself painted almost 2 years ago now. It was the summer before last. It was a Knit Picks double-stranded blank that I got, and the girls just painted it using food colouring. And yeah, so this, I made the first, I also already made her a pair of socks out of the first half of it, and they were knitted. So I thought, well, I'll use the other half to crochet her a pair. So this is what I came up with. So I'll show you, just cover up my face. So I'm hoping, hoping that focuses. I can't really tell. There we go, I think it is. I have to hide. Yeah, so I'm really happy with that nice ribbing. This is a Malabrigo sock yarn. What is it with this colour? I forget it every time. Light of Love is the colourway name, and I'm pretty sure it's Malabrigo. I've used it in so many things, but I finally used the whole ball up now. So it's got a little ribbed cuff, and then the ribbing goes all the way down the body. They're not quite a full length because that's all I had. But it reminds me of a garden, a flower garden. These do. It looks really good. So with this design, it's a little bit different to Segway, in that this one's going to have a full proper gusset. The Segway socks just have a mini gusset, but these ones have got a full gusset, heel turn and heel flap. So different construction, or heel construction, but yeah, equally stretchy to Segways. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on next in the way of sock design. So adding to my sock design library. I've been going a little bit nuts for socks. I mean, it is Socktober, so you know, you got to do it. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's the almost instant, I know it's not instant, gratification of a quick project, which has been really, really nice. I think that's been quite appealing. It's kind of sad being in the southern hemisphere because we're heading into summer. As you can see, I'm in sleeveless top today. It has been warm. We've still had a few cold spring days, but it's certainly warming up. The grass has turned from, you know, sandy brown to green now, and everything's growing. It's rather nice, but yeah, it's like I'm making all these great socks just to store them away for another 6 months. But anyway, never mind. I'll be very well prepared for next winter. So what else do I have to show? Okay, so going from small projects that are quick to a nice big project. This one is now also complete. I can't even fit it in the screen. My blur is finished. I was working on the second last colour when I showed you last, and I've completed it now with the final colour. All of these yarns and the colourways I've used, in fact, for any of my projects. If I don't happen to mention it here for you, if you go to my projects page on Ravelry, you can get all the details, what colours I used, the bases, who I got them from, how much I used, everything there. I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to my projects, so that works for you guys if you want to know anything more. But yeah, I finally finished it. It's the it's the big size with the 6 colours as written in the pattern, so it's gloriously huge. It's definitely too hot to wear at the moment, and I won't be styling it properly, but there you go. So yeah, very, very, very happy with that one. It's kind of seems to be my go-to for a relaxing project because I don't have to think about it too much. Watching the colours change is fun, and yeah, I absolutely love it. So really, really happy with that one too. That's it in the way of finished objects. Mind you, I didn't do too badly. A few pairs of socks and a shawl. So yeah, so I've got a couple of whips to show you as well. One of them is a knitted whip. So this one you haven't seen for ages. As you know, I don't knit that often. And this project I've been working on for an embarrassingly long time, but there you go. I have been doing a bit more on my Ant Ross sweater. Now in this light, it really blows out the teal. It's not nearly as bright in those tealy pops in reality. It's a bit more sedated than that, but last time I showed you this I had finished the hem and I only had the sleeves to go. So why does it take so long to do sleeves? Anyway, so I've started one sleeve. Hooray. So I have to have this finished by next winter surely. It was supposed to be finished for the winter before the one that we've just had. Anyway, we shall speak no more of that. If you can see here on the sleeve, there we go. Can you see the little, at the bottom of the screen, the little stitch markers I've got hanging? Oh, I'm moving around a lot, sorry. But there's little stitch markers hanging off the bottom. I saw this tip, a few sock makers use it when they're doing pattern repeats in a sock, and I thought it was quite nifty. And it just marks the position of each decrease. I'm really not showing you this properly at all. So that, you know, I don't have to count individual rows, and then when I go to do the other sleeve, it'll be much easier to mirror on the second sleeve. So I thought it was a handy little tip, although I think I have used up all my bulb pin markers that I possess for now. I should get some more, and yeah, for the other side, but that's where I'm at on Sleeve Island for this one. It's going to have a full sleeve with a garter stitch cuff to match the neckline and the hem, and yeah, I am really enjoying that, which is good. And for the picking up the stitches for the underarm, for any of you knitters out there, you know, sometimes picking up stitches for the underarm, they can end up quite big and loopy and almost look like holes, even though they're not holes, but they can look like that. I did mine. Now it's going to be impossible to show you here, but so you'll just have to take my word for it. I followed the instructions from a blog post by Georgie of Tikki Knits. She did a post about a more effective way, or a neater way, of picking up stitches for the underarm so that you don't get those big loose loopy holes. I will try and find it because I think it's on her old blog. I'll have a look for you and I'll put the link below because it really does work. So she is a knitting queen, so definitely check it out. And yeah, then you can avoid those loopy holes. I mean, I know they're hidden at the underarms, but we want it, you know, if there's a neater way of doing it, why not? So definitely check that out. So that's my Ant Ross. I really hope to have that finished soon. No excuse, I really just should get it done. I also have been working on my blankets a lot. I'm not going to show you. They have grown. I've re-weighed, sounds weird, all the contrast coloured leftovers that I have, and I've had to adjust how many more stripes I can get out of it each one. But so I've worked out that I can probably do about 20 more stripes on each blanket. They're both the same size now. and I need more of the purple, which is the main colour that goes all the way through. So I've got to order more yarn, which is a bit of a bummer because I was kind of hoping to get it all completed without buying any more yarn, because it was just to use up leftovers that I had that weren't doing anything. That said, I'm not that disappointed because the blankets, if I don't do those extra 20, one, I'm still going to have all these bright leftovers that I can't really do anything with, and two, the blankets are just that little bit short. I would like them to be a bit longer. So I've got enough contrast colours to do it, so I'll just order the 2 more balls of the Purple Storm main colour, and hopefully they will be finished soon. Man, 2 almost single bed size blankets. That was insanity on my part, wasn't it? Anyway, another whip to show you. This one is one I haven't shown you for a while. This is my, I'll try not to tangle it up, my Treasure Island shawl by Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast. I'm making it with a gradient cake, so you can see the colour changes, which is lovely. It's an illusion cake from Lynn Craft. There we go. These cost like $6 Australian, which is cheap as chips. It's 150 grams, you get 600 meters. Yes, 600 meters. It's 75% cotton, 25% polyester. It's very soft. Do I like working with it? I mean, it's nice because it's soft, but there is just, I've talked about it before, so there's just no twist at all, like none. So it's, imagine using the splittiest yarn you've ever used before. That's this. So it's probably just as well that I'm enjoying the pattern and I like the feel of it, because otherwise there's no way I would finish this thing. So that said, Hannah's pattern's lovely. It's very relaxing. It would be very beginner friendly. I modified it ever so slightly in that I weighed the cake, and when I got to the halfway point I've turned, and because I was too lazy and I'd worked too many rows and I didn't want to frog back anything, I've just, the centre piece in Hannah's pattern has 2 lace panels. I've just made my centerpiece the 1 lace panel, so I've slightly modified it, but that's all. But it's going to be nice to wear in the like spring or autumn, the transitional seasons, because of the cotton content. So that's what's keeping me going at the moment, because over the warmer months I miss wearing all my woolly shawls, so it'll be nice to have a cotton based one to wear, I hope, if I can put up with the splittiness. It's just that's just the bit that bugs me, you know, constantly having to go back and pick up loops that have come off the hook or not been caught by. Anyway, it's a nice project, so go check out Hannah's patterns. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that one. So before I show you some stash enhancement, I have a couple of shout outs that I wanted to make. One is a big shout out to Kylie of Fibre Lily. Kylie's an Australian indie dyer, and she recently ran a giveaway between my Instagram account and hers for a sweater's quantity of yarn to make the Addydae sweater. Now it has closed, so that's a bit of a tease, but to tell you about that, but she was so generous and her yarn is so beautiful that I just thought it was amazing. So go check out Fibre Lily. Her colorways are beautiful, and yeah, that was really awesome of her to do that in line with the release of Addydae. I haven't actually had the opportunity to try Kylie's yarns myself, but we are working on a collaboration for a design in the future, so it won't be long and it's on my wish list, so I get to try it, and we're working on a design together, so that's a bit exciting. The other shout out I wanted to do was for my friend Christine, who has the Instagram account Mini Me Handcrafts. Christine has branched out into designing and has released currently 2 out of a total of 4 that I know of, fingerless mitt designs, so perfect for the northern winter. Now let me just check. The ones that are currently available are called the Impression Mitts. I'm going to try and do something fancy. I'm going to try and put a picture up here. I can't do that picture in picture thing. If not, the screen will just split and show you a full-size picture if I can't work it out. So, but yes, she's released the Impression Mitts and the Straight Line Mitts. I've seen these designs. They're really, really clever. There's some nice shaping to them, which can be lacking in some crochet designs. So definitely go check out Mini Me Designs and see what Christine has for you. Congratulations, Christine, on your design releases. Go show us some love. Alrighty, I'm going to try and not wobble my really fancy tripod support is my ironing board. Fancy podcast stuff going on here. Okay, so what else have I got for you? I have had, I'm referring to my notes, that's probably not good. I have gotten a little bit of stash enhancement since we spoke last. Nothing major, as I've been trying to use my stash now that I can see it, which is really nice. Although I have worked out since starting to make socks that have very little in the way of actual sock yarn. I've got loads and loads of fingering weight, but very little of it actually has nylon in it, would you believe? Yeah, I hadn't, because it's never occurred to me before that I needed it, or, you know, it didn't worry me whether it was a sock yarn or not when I was buying, but now that I actually want something with a bit of nylon in it so that it wears better, realised I don't have it all. So, justified yarn purchasing, of course. So, while I was at the handmade markets on Saturday, they just happened over the weekend here in Canberra, I took along, this is a leftover sock yarn that I did happen to have. This is by an Australian dyer that no longer dyes, Little Plum yarn. So I've had this in my stash for a long time. So it's a really pretty soft lavender, and I thought I'll get something to use this up as well. I'll get a colour to match. So I took myself over to Blackwater Yarn stand, had a chat to Angela and Matt, and I got myself this. Isn't that pretty? So I think that will pair really well with this one. It's a lovely, delicate colourway. This one's called Berries in Ice Cream, and it's on Angela's new sock base, which I've not used before. I've used plenty of her 100% alpaca. This one is her Grevillea base, 100 grams, 350 metres or 387 yards, 60% alpaca, 20% merino and 20% nylon. It's lovely and squishy. If it's looking a little, it normally looks tidier than this when you get them from Angela, just saying. The cats, my cats love anything with alpaca in it. They actually fished it out of the bag that I had it in because they could smell it in there and carried it around the house in the middle of the night. So I had to rescue it. So yeah, isn't that beautiful? Kitty approved. But I think that will make a beautiful, beautiful pair of socks. So purchase number 1 was that one. The other thing, the other colourway I wanted to match was this one that I got. Imogen chose this one when I was at the Bendigo Sheep and Wool show. She picked this out. We FaceTimed to get, you know, child approval for the colourway. And when I got home and checked my sock yarn, I didn't really have a colour that matched it really well. That was a good sock base. And I was chatting to Catherine of the Australian Wool Store. She too was at the handmade markets here in Canberra. And she gave me this gorgeous little mini that matches it. Hang on, I'll get the tag out of the way. How cute is that? So this purple brings out the purple, like the speckles in this one are sort of quite a purpley navy, so it suits it really well. There are actually little spots and speckles of navy in this, but they're a bit, oh there you go, you can see one. And this colourway is Violet Fade by the Australian Wool Store. Check out the label, it's so cute. And you can do it there. Isn't that cute? And so this is a sock base as well. It's a 75-25, 100 metres per 100 grams. So yes, 100. So this is only 100 metres, but that'll be 25 grams will be plenty to do toes, heels and cuffs in a crocheted sock for Imogen. So that will be a sock project for her. So yeah, thank you so much, Catherine, for my gift. That was so cute. It's almost a shame to unwrap that, isn't it? It's a bit like using that sock blank. But it must be done. It's likely it will be done. So those two were from this weekend alone. I'm getting a bit hot now, so I might take this off. Sorry guys. It's amazingly warm already. Some days it feels like we're in summer. Oh, sorry, I got a bit close, didn't it? Oh, didn't mean to scare you all. Now these colourways I actually purchased before I podcasted last time, but I think I chose not to show them to you because I was showing a whole heap of, well, I was showing you what I bought at the Sheep and Wool Show. So remember that awesome patchwork project bag I ordered from Stitch Mischief? Well, Jade, the genius behind Stitch Mischief, also dyes yarn. So when I ordered the bag, of course, I ordered some yarn as well. And yeah, if you want to check out Jade's bags, definitely head over to Stitch Mischief. If you can sew, you can make your own Finch bucket, which that bag was. That's the style it was, because Jade has created the pattern. Much like you can buy a knit or crochet pattern, she's created the sewing pattern that you can purchase and print out yourself to make your own if you have the skills. So back to the yarn. This was one I got. I'm going to cover up my eyes. There we go. Oh, the light in here is perfect for this colour. That is exactly what it looks like. So excited, obviously. This colourway is called Shine, and I got two of these from Jade. This is on her sock base, so I'm a little bit excited that I can pair this with, well, look at it. You can pair this with so many colours because they're all in there on this beautiful, it's like a warm grey, because I wouldn't call that beige. It's not cream like beige. It's, yeah, it's lovely. And if you can see, it's got an amazingly good twist on it, which is important for socks. Well, it depends on the stitches, but generally you're working socks on a tighter gauge than normal. So you want a good twist on your yarn, just because we've got that smaller hook, and with a smaller hook it's easier to split the fibres or the strands of your plied yarns. So a nice tight twist on your sock yarn will make you a happier sock maker, trust me. So that's the Shine colourway, and I got two of those. And I also got this one. Check it out. And yes, it is indeed that bright. Which is a little bit out of my normal colour palette, although you know how much I love a good watermelon pink. I'm into the peaches, and yeah, the corals are totally my jam. So, but I just couldn't resist that when I saw it, and it's got awesome black speckles in it. Look at that. How cool is that? And this is the Love is a Battlefield colourway. So I suppose theoretically I could pair these two together because there's lots of that bright pink in there. But I'm thinking this may become a pair of socks for me. So yeah, I love that. And that's Jade's label for her yarns. Yeah, so thank you, Jade. They're beautiful. I love them. I can't wait to use them. In fact, I have another one. This is another colour that I got from Little Plum Yarn. As I said, they're not dyeing anymore, so I'm wanting to use up the yarn for something, and I thought, look how nice these go together. So wouldn't they make pretty socks? And I'm thinking of making the heels, toes and cuffs out of this, and the body of the sock in the lavender. So yeah, I reckon that'd be fun because it really brings out that purple in there. I reckon that'd be great. So yeah, I keep putting together sock combos everywhere. I can't help myself. Socktober has taken over my life. Well, maybe just for October. Oh, so that's it for stash enhancement. I need to take a breath. Just making sure I have mentioned everything I had planned. Yep, that's pretty much about it as far as regularly scheduled topics for the blog recording. What am I doing here again? I'm severely out of practice, as you can tell. I think that's I shouldn't leave it this long because I get really out of practice and then I get nervous about recording again, which makes me put it off even longer, which just perpetuates the problem. But I will not learn, will I? Now, finally, the last time I recorded, we thought because it's episode 30, did I say that at the beginning? I think I did. It is episode 30. Just in case you forgot. I said that for this episode, I do a bit of a Q&A if you had questions you wanted to ask me. When I got some of the questions in, I thought I won't answer them all in the one go because that would get a bit boring. So I thought I'd add a little Q&A segment to the end of the podcast. So I'm going to answer a few of the ones this time, and when I podcast next, I'll answer some more. And if you have any questions you want to ask me, definitely pop them below the video and I'll attempt to do my best to answer them. I'm no expert on anything, but hey, if there's anything you want to know about me or techniques or anything like that, yeah, pop it below and I'll do my best for you. So we'll just answer a couple today. So this one was from Instagram. OzHulaGal on Instagram asked me how and when did I start crocheting and who taught me. That was my mum, and I was a little girl. Probably about 10. I don't actually remember actually sitting down and being taught, but mum can knit, crochet, sew, cook. She does all of that. She's, you know, amazingly skilled in a lot of those areas. So she would have definitely taught me. I do remember being given a how to crochet book and making some things out of that. I know there was some slippers from memory. I can remember slippers from this book, and I remember making square motifs to put together a doll's blanket. So if that's any indication of how old I was when I learnt, yeah, I've been crocheting for, do I say it? I'll say over 30 years. I'm not telling you how much over. A long time. But yeah, mum, she's amazing. I'm so happy too that she did teach me, because she taught me how to knit too, and now I can do both. So very happy to have that skill set that she gave me all those years ago. Okay, Stephanie says, do I ever get tennis elbow from too much crocheting, and how do I avoid it? The answer is yes. Not a lot, but I do, and not just in my elbows. I can get pain in my shoulders and my fingers and my wrists. It all depends on what I'm doing and how much. Shoulders and elbows tend to hurt if I'm using chunky yarn that requires a lot more movement. If I'm using quite a fine yarn, or if I'm working something on a really tight gauge, not that I'm do much on the tight gauge, but you know, with socks you're doing the heels and toes quite firm, and I find my fingers ache a little bit from holding everything quite so firm. So yes, it does happen. It doesn't happen that often, because I mean, in a perfect world I could sit and crochet all day, but getting the opportunity to do that in real life is rare. So it's very rare that I'll actually sit and work for hours and hours, and so it doesn't happen that often, because that's when it will happen, when you're doing it continually for hours. How do I avoid it? I don't have to avoid it that much, because sadly I don't get those hours and hours and hours uninterrupted crochet time. But if I do find that I have a bit of pain, I do have a wrist strap that you've probably seen me wear sometimes, which supports my wrists. That, and just being careful not to overdo it, because I want to be able to keep crocheting for a long time, so it's important to rest when you need it. The good thing for me is I don't have super enforced deadlines that I have to meet, so I guess that makes a difference for me. I can release patterns and things pretty much when I'm ready to do it, so there's no, unless you're submitting to magazines or you have customers you're making things for, I don't have set dates so much, so I can take time out if I need it. But yeah, it's important to be careful, because if you do permanent damage, that will be a disaster. We don't want that, so take care of you. Rosina from the Zines and Roger podcast. If you haven't watched Rosina, I'm sure you all know who Rosina is. Rosina's podcast is awesome. Hi Rosina, if you're watching, how are you? All right? I get a giggle every time I watch Rosina. So if you haven't, I've got fluff stuck to my lip, sorry. If you haven't, head over to check out her vlogcast, crochet vlog. Go and check it out, it's awesome. Okay, so Rosina says, how did I learn about grading different sizes for garments? Do I take a methodical approach, or am I a designer who wings it? Whoa. Okay, definitely methodical approach when it comes to like my sweater designs, all two of them. Grading patterns is the reason it's taken me so long to release sweater designs. Grading for different sizes to actually fit on a body, as opposed to, say, grading a shawl in 3 different sizes. Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. So it's still there. I'm having hair and lip gloss issues. Yeah, so I have relied heavily on, there we go, I think I got it. I've relied heavily on some design resources that I have. I have a few sweater design books. One of my favourite is by Anne Budd. I think it's called the Top Down Sweater Workbook. It is for knitters, but you can easily translate from how she's presented the information. You can easily use that for crochet. I know the Craft Yarn Council of America have a website with standard body sizes, which I found really useful, because I don't have a design background as such, well, at all. Shh, don't tell anyone. So yeah, I've relied a lot on that, and also, see, this is going to sound terrible, but other patterns, and I don't mean that in like a copyright infringement way. I mean, no, when you buy a pattern and it's got the differences between sizes, how much difference do you add from size small to size medium? Guidelines in that way. I certainly would not copy another person's pattern, but definitely you got information like that from a lot of the patterns that I've used over time and things like that. So basically put all that stuff together. I hope that wasn't all dribble. But yeah, I certainly didn't wing it when it came to sweater design, because you really want to get that right. I hope I did anyway. Alrighty, Sarah, I think it's Sarah or Sarah, says, would you share a favour of your, I'll start that again. Would you share a few of your favourite crochet designers? Okay, sure. Probably the person that influenced me the most when I first began crocheting was Lisa Naskrent of the Crochet Garden. I made a lot of her things for my girls, and I loved her aesthetic. She makes some beautiful things. Yeah, she was probably what got me started thinking, I wonder if I could do this, So because the girls have grown up now, I'm not exactly making that style of clothing so much anymore, but she definitely got me thinking about designing myself. Since then, the ones that have probably influenced me, well, not influenced me, but certainly the ones I go, when I see their stuff, wowed me, is Linda. I don't know how you pronounce the surname, if it's Skuya or Skuja. 11 Handmade is her handle on Instagram. I mean, who hasn't drooled over all the gorgeous goldenrod sweaters that are everywhere? They're just beautiful. I absolutely love her stuff. I also really like stuff from Velvet Acorn Designs. Their Instagram feed is just blissful to look at. Just go have a look and you'll see what I mean. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. And also Katie and the Squid, I really like her designs too. And just, I'm going to say as a disclaimer, but that sounds really bad. Their designs are beautiful. I have not myself made any of their designs from the patterns. I did start making one from Katie and the Squid, but I frogged it, and that was not a reflection of the pattern. I wasn't really happy with the colours I chose and the size I started making, so just so you know. But I love the look of their designs are beautiful, so definitely go check them out. The thing is, for crochet designers, generally if I'm crocheting, I'm making up my own. So I don't tend to have a lot of time to crochet other people's designs. And I know that sounds like I'm a real pattern snob, but you know, this is what I do for my business. So yeah, but go check out their stuff. Love, love, love them. And also, I have to say, I've been a fan of Claire from Bob Wilson 123 forever. If you are a beginner crocheter and you want someone to hold your hand through a project, Claire does video tutorials. So she designs her own stuff and then does video tutorial for how to make her designs. So if you're new to crocheting, or you know, just a beginner, well, that is new, isn't it? Go check out Claire. And the funny thing is, like I say, I've been following Claire forever. And then I actually got to meet her, I probably talked about this before, but I got to meet her in April when I did some classes at Skein Sisters. She actually came to one of my classes. So I had a combination of a total freak out and a fangirl moment all in the one. I was like, oh, Claire, she's in my class, what? Anyway, she's lovely. We actually chat online together all the time now, so gotten to know her really, really well, which has been lovely. So yeah, go check out Bob Wilson 123. She was a YouTube star before we even know what YouTube stars were. Seriously, go check her out. So yeah. So there you go. That's the Q&A for today. I won't bore you by talking too long, as I'm sure I've probably yammered on for a little bit too long already. I hope you're well and enjoying your crafting time. Oh, I knew I'd forget something. Hold on to your hats, people. A new way of making things is coming. Okay, I had to say it like that. There's a new app coming out. I know I touched on it briefly in my previous episode. Making things is the most amazing new thing to come to crafting in a long time. It's a new app with for making. I've written a blog post about it, so I won't go into it too much in detail here, but it's going to be awesome. I've had the privilege of being a launch designer and interacting with the team behind it. The amazing people behind this, it's going to be unbelievable. Every time we chat, I've been involved in some of the product meetings pre-launch, and I know that sounds like me. No, I was invited to have a chat, and it was really good because the reason they were inviting designers, they were inviting makers. We all got together on these chats and discussed, you know, what would make a making app really good for you. What are some of the things that you really don't like about other platforms? And they have sort of put together everybody's feedback to come up with this amazing platform for knitting and crocheting. And it is every week after the meeting, I would be just buzzing. It's going to be fantastic. You won't believe what they have in store for you. It's an interesting way of setting it up too, because it's going to be like, best way of describing it, it's like Netflix for makers. So you pay a monthly fee and you get access to everything on the platform, all the patterns for your monthly fee. So you can binge craft, like you binge watch your favorite series. You can binge make your favorite designers' patterns. You get the whole lot. You have access to all of them. And that's not even scratching the surface as to what this new platform has to offer. So I've written a blog post about, I'll put the link to the blog below so you can read it in more detail, but definitely go check out makingthingsapp.com. And it's launching on the 30th of October. So we only have a week to wait for it. So yeah, it's, I know I'm gushing about it, but it truly is a really exciting new thing, and it's beautiful as well. So can't wait for you all to see it. Yeah, watch this space. It'll be great. So I've got some of my designs on it. I'm still in the process of getting those uploaded because it's a slightly different format, like actual physical format. But yeah, it'll be great. So definitely keep an eye out for that launch. It's going to be awesome. Okay, on that note, I am going. I hope you're well, as I said, and enjoying your crafting time. Take care, everybody, and I will see you soon. Bye. Where's the off button?
Is it on?
It's on.
Yay! Your ear slipped. You're gonna look like a freak the entire time. Sorry. I'm just trying to help.
It is so helpful. Excellent.
Yay.
Okay, so how's it sound?
I have no idea. Can you hear me properly?
Are you trying to contact your home planet?
Alright, stop.
Is it recording?
Yes, it's recording.
I was gonna go under camera.
Good idea. Alright, sound check. Can you not do that right in the... Okay. Happy to have my helpers today. Now be gone with you. Press stop. Thank you.
I hope you can hear me.